is for my daughter.
Plus, holding on to hope. A young Draper girl critically injured in a car accident. Her mother looking for a silver lining. How the community is rallying behind them. And it's the last day of this year's general legislative session. How lawmakers are feeling as their deadline draws near.
Live from Utah's CW30, ABC4 News at 7 starts now.
Good evening. Thank you for watching ABC4 News at 7 on the CW30. I'm Lena. Tonight we start the show with our top 7 stories at 7 p.m. Today is the last day for Utah's general legislative session, giving representatives and senators until midnight to pass any remaining bills. Some of those bills passing today include House Bill 440, which regulates homeless shelter capacity, and House Bill 374, prohibiting some sensitive materials from schools. But with only a couple hours left in the day, some lawmakers expecting plenty of work and emotions ahead of them.
Your emotions on this last day go high and then they go low, and then, you hate everything and then you love everything.
We'll have more coverage tonight at 10 on ABC4. Communities in Draper and Harriman are rallying for a 9-year-old girl that is fighting for her life tonight. According to her mother, Carlene, Lily's biological father was driving her to school when they got in a car accident. Police say his blood alcohol level was 3 times the legal limit, according to arresting documents.
I just want justice for my daughter. I want justice for Lily. And I want people to pray for her and keep praying for her recovery, because she's number one and she's the one that matters.
Lily's mother says her daughter is alive thanks to a puppy she was holding that took the majority of the force of the crash and saved her. The puppy did not survive. Lily is at Primary Children's Medical Center and is under sedation tonight. She's not responding to basic commands and is suffering from brain injuries, fractured bones, and is on a ventilator. NATO allies and the UN Security Council holding emergency meetings today after Russian troops unleashed an attack on the grounds of one of the 10 largest nuclear power plants in the world. Fortunately, the plant's nuclear reactors weren't hit, but rescue workers spent hours overnight putting out a massive fire at an administrative building on the grounds. Russian forces say they now control the nuclear facility. Ukraine's President Zelensky warning that an explosion at the nuclear facility would be, quote, the end for everyone, the end for Europe, end quote.
Mr. Putin must stop this madness.
There are concerns about what Russian forces might do next after their defense ministry says they now have control of the nuclear facility. Meanwhile, Russia's bombing of civilian targets in Ukraine continues to escalate. A military convoy here in Utah moving 2 Black Hawk helicopters that crashed last week at Snowbird Ski Resort. Earlier this week, military flew the fallen choppers to the Heber Valley Airport. Today, crews loaded them up on trucks and they're now on their way to the Utah Army Aviation Facility in West Jordan.
Our first goal is to make sure that the public are safe as we move. Second goal is to make sure that the helicopter doesn't get any damage as it comes down the hill.
Chief Freeman says a thorough investigation is handled by the local Army and other agencies to take a look at the National Guard's programs to see what, if any, details needs a fine-tuning to ensure an incident like this doesn't happen again. As the housing crunch continues in southern Utah, Zion National Park officials are struggling to find a place for park rangers to live. The mayor of Springdale recently issued a ban on nightly rentals due to the housing shortage. Park officials say there's housing inside of the park, mainly reserved for emergency services and seasonal staff, but he says there's a need especially for their temporary workers.
There's a number of people coming in and they're looking for temporary accommodations, but we still have to try to find ways to house the workers that support all those activities.
Bruno says a task force for the town is working to find a new ordinance to tackle this problem many local leaders are facing. Utah State University is home to 3 Ukrainian students. As war continues in their native country, their peers are making it their mission to make sure they feel at home in Utah. These images coming to us from Ukraine. Every day we see something new and shocking. At USU, students are banding together to make sure their Ukrainian peers feel at home. One of those students is a basketball player.
That was really good. I enjoyed that moment and I appreciate all the support.
This whole student section, all Utah State supports Ukraine, and that we're just here for them and just hope for the best and that everything goes in an okay way.
Students couldn't find any flags to buy, so during a home game, they used 1,000 pieces of paper to turn the student section into a giant flag. The old main building was lit in blue and yellow to show support, and signs across campus remind all students that they belong. Today, President Joe Biden announcing a major investment in domestic production. He's teaming up with the CEO of Siemens USA to create hundreds of new jobs for developing infrastructure. The president says the $54 million investment will boost U.S. production and add 300 manufacturing jobs to build up electric vehicle charging and data centers. The administration claims the latest jobs report released today already shows the effects of these changes.
We saw unemployment tick down to 3.8% alongside an increase in labor force participation, which we know is going to be so important for getting our labor market and our economy back to normal.
Despite a drop in the unemployment rate, lawmakers say we must do more about our rising prices. But the president promising today the trends we're seeing will place the United States in a good position to combat inflation. Still ahead, a California woman is arrested accused of faking her own kidnapping. What officials are saying tonight.
And Chief Meteorologist Lena here. You're taking that live look at downtown Salt Lake City from our doTERRA camera. Well, gosh, we've had wet weather today. We told you it was coming, and let me reinforce an active weekend is ahead. We'll talk about rain and snow and what to expect in Utah's most accurate forecast.
Time now for Utah's most accurate forecast with Alana Brophy, weather rate certified 10 years in a row.
Wet weather to end the work week. That's what we were dealing with. This is what it looked like as a few thunderstorm cells kind of moved through Salt Lake. Yeah, some rain on the doTERRA camera from our time-lapse video. You see those clouds moving from south to north. And yes, we heard claps of thunder out there, and the thunderstorm threat holds steady into tomorrow. I'll show you where. We're tracking those storms. We've seen increased winds. You probably noticed that, some gusty conditions. Snow is on deck for the weekend. It was rain today, and it will be rain for a portion of tomorrow, but then changes on the way. We've got active skies ahead of us. Be ready for it. You can see that moisture still moving from south to north. We saw that the last several hours. Eastern Utah saw those active skies. Also up north, pockets, scattered storm activity. As we take a look and get a little closer, get pinpoint here. Right now, near American Fork towards Provo and up in Salt Lake, as well as near Evanston. We do have that rain coming down. Also, active skies over near Rush Valley into Willa County. So we jump over to eastern Utah. We have seen thunderstorm activity over the I-70 corridor near Green River. Some mixed precipitation showing up south of Vernal. Moab has seen some wet weather. Our mountains getting a few pockets of snow showers. It's also the case towards Cedar City. And right now it's quieted down, but we have seen showers on and off in St. George, Cedar, and over Lake Powell. Here's a look at those wind gusts packing a punch there. Big numbers coming out of Delta, Milford, Moab, Blanding. Southerly winds coming through, helping to push those clouds and that moisture. As we head into our Saturday, the chance for thunderstorms will exist in central, eastern, and southern Utah. So don't be surprised if you hear that thunder, maybe see that flash of light because it's out there. Also, by noon tomorrow, you don't typically see these two together, but we get a winter weather advisory going into effect for our mountains. That snow on deck is going to accumulate, pile up in the high country, and this does include the Wasatch, Uintas, Wasatch Plateau, central Utah mountains, and down towards southern Utah. Brian had included in this winter weather advisory, meaning that accumulating snow will bring back winter travel conditions on our mountain routes. So this next system coming in, a series of disturbances impacting us this weekend. The first one today, here's that next one for tomorrow. And yes, it does impact us with activity through Sunday and Monday. We open the door for cooler air, and we're going to continue to cool. Today we made it to 60 in Salt Lake. Tomorrow, dropping into the 40s, followed by the 30s on deck. So we watch our weather into tonight. We're going to see things staying pretty active through tomorrow morning. Here we are by lunch, mix of rain and snow, valley rain, mountain snow, and then snow over the I-15 corridor down towards Cedar City up through about Delta and Milford. So a heads up there. And we stay active, cooler air moving in. We'll see that rain transitioning to snow tomorrow night into Sunday. So a heads up, this band of snow forms, and this is where the accumulation is going to really move in for northern and central Utah. Unsettled as we head into Monday with snow showers sticking around. This is how much to expect, 2 to 5 for our northern valleys. Some areas may overperform, 4 to 8 for mountain valleys like Park City, and healthy amounts for our mountains. We like to see these numbers, 12 to 18 in the Cottonwoods, but there are spots that will actually get a little more, 8 to 14 in the central portion of the state. Temperatures in the 40s and a few 50s popping up. Eastern Utah brings the storms, thunderstorm activity, wet weather for the I-15 corridor, 50s down there in St. George, below average. Rain sticks around through Sunday. Drier conditions Monday, but below average temperatures for the next 7. Here's the Wasatch Front, where you get valley rain, mountain snow. That will turn tomorrow night into straight snow, impacting us on Sunday. It will accumulate. Snow showers into Monday as another weak system comes through. Dry on Tuesday, but another storm Wednesday. That could linger into Thursday morning. So an active pattern. We need the moisture. We're happy to see it. Hey, to stay on top of the weather forecast and any changes, download the ABC4 Weather app. It's really easy to do. You take a picture of the QR code that you see on your screen, takes you right to the App Store. You can download for free. That way we can be there for you. Lena?
Thanks, Alana. Now, there's no doubt technology has enhanced our lives, but there are benefits to disconnecting from our beloved devices and shutting off our screens. You and your family can join other Americans pledging to take that break. ABC's Morgan Norwood has more.
The National Day of Unplugging is here, and Americans across the country are getting ready to put away all of their electronic devices, from phones and tablets to TVs and gaming systems. Kim Cavallo is the executive director of Unplug Collaborative, the organization leading the movement.
It's really about connecting to things that matter beyond screens, which is human connection, which we haven't had enough of in the last couple of years, and connecting to yourself.
National Day of Unplugging takes place from sundown Friday evening to sundown Saturday, but you can participate on a smaller scale too.
Some people just take an hour. Some people decide for the day that they're going to do tech-free meals.
I could say across the board, there are other people doing this. It's not just us.
Li Huo plans to unplug with her family.
Sometimes I feel like 90% of my conversation with my kids is like, are you on the screen? Get off the screen. Get off the screen.
Their tech-free 24 hours will include a hike with their dog, game night, and going out to dinner.
This is so special that we get to go out to dinner together. This is a great time for us to sort of just chat and let's go around and tell a funny story that happened to each other.
If you're stuck on what to do, Cavallo suggests spending time doing something that makes an impact.
When you are spending time offline, you're thinking about all the other things that you should be doing. But if you're doing something that you feel is impactful to help someone else, that might be something.
You can participate in Unplug for a cause.
For every 30 minutes that you're unplugged, 3 pairs of socks will be donated to Knock Knock Give a Sock.
If you want to get creative, try the Kindness Rocks project.
You can paint rocks with positive messages, and you can hide them places so other people can discover them.
Cavallo hopes National Day of Unplugging opens the door to new habits year-long.
It's really just this day and time to kick off and renew your commitment to being healthier with technology.
Morgan Norwood, ABC News, Los Angeles.
And if you need ideas for how to spend your break from screens, check out the official website nationaldayofunplugging.com for over 200 ideas.
A look at new 5G wireless options for home internet that could save you money. I'm Rich DeMuro. I'll take a look at the pros and the cons coming up in TechSmart.
Welcome back. Now to the California mother who made national headlines when she vanished in 2016, only to reappear 3 weeks later on Thanksgiving Day claiming she was kidnapped. Now Sherry Papini has been arrested in connection with her disappearance. ABC's Kaylee Hartung has the story.
The California woman whose disappearance and reappearance set off a frantic 3-week search more than 5 years ago, now behind bars. Sherry Papini arrested on charges that she allegedly lied to federal agents about being kidnapped and allegedly defrauded the state's Victim Compensation Board of $30,000. Just before Thanksgiving 2016, the young mother of 2 disappeared in Northern California. Her husband Keith frantically calling 911.
I just got home from work and my wife wasn't there, which is unusual.
A few weeks later, Papini was found by a truck driver who saw her on a freeway with injuries, chains, and bindings around her body. Papini claimed 2 Hispanic women abducted her at gunpoint, beat her, and threatened to sell her to a man while keeping her in a closet. But she claimed she managed to escape. But authorities now revealing in a criminal complaint that DNA evidence recovered from Papini's clothing she was wearing when she returned matched her ex-boyfriend's DNA. And that ex-boyfriend admitted to investigators that he helped Papini run away. Investigators add that he also said Sherry Papini created the injuries while staying with him, including hitting herself to create bruises and burning herself on her arms.
I totally believed her. I thought she really did have PTSD, that she had been beaten and just mistreated completely. Our community really got behind her and the Papini family, and disappointment, disheartenment.
And while it's unclear if Papini has an attorney, her family releasing a statement to ABC News, writing, "We are confused by several aspects of the charges and hope to get clarification in the coming days." The Shasta County Sheriff releasing a statement saying it's a great day for law enforcement across America, adding that this investigation cost the county $150,000. If convicted, Papini faces up to 25 years in prison. Morgan Norwood, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Sherry Papini's family keeping a united front, telling ABC News overnight. Sherry and Keith have cooperated with law enforcement's request despite repeated attempts to unnecessarily pit them against each other. We're confused by several aspects of the charges and hope to get clarification. And a Utah doctor has filed a federal lawsuit against the President of the United States over a federal vaccine mandate. The CMS COVID-19 mandate requires eligible staff at almost all Medicare and Medicaid certified providers to get the vaccine. But in our ABC4 News exclusive, this Utah doctor is taking his case to court to fight against it.
I take care of a lot of kids that are born with birth defects. So cleft lips, cleft palates, extra fingers, extra toes.
Dr. Devin Greiner from Lehigh is a pediatric craniofacial plastic surgeon. He estimates he's helped hundreds of kids in Utah and around the world.
These are kind of like my own children. I take care of kids from the time they're born, sometimes before they're born, all the way up until they're 20, 25 years old and go off. So I watch them grow up. They're part of my family.
The current CMS COVID-19 vaccine mandate has Dr. Greiner scared he may not be able to continue that work because he has not received any doses of the shot. So he's filed a lawsuit in federal court to overturn that mandate.
I've watched over the last year and a half as things have progressed, where they're going, and I really want to try to put a stop now so that I'm never in the position where I have to tell one of my patients and their families that they need to go somewhere else or find somebody else.
And there are some pretty big names listed as defendants.
President of the United States, the CDC, a lot of workers in the CDC, CMS. So yeah, big names, but it's the people that have been able to pass this down and make these mandates actually happen and stick.
The lawsuit claims the vaccine mandate is unconstitutional and violates Dr. Greiner's 5th and 14th Amendment rights. He says he's not comfortable with getting the shot and shouldn't be forced to.
I want people that feel good about it to go get it, and those that don't feel good about it to wait. Morally, I can't go against what I'm feeling about it, and if that means that the hospital systems decide to take away my privileges, then that's what's going to happen. And it breaks my heart, which is why I want to get on the forefront of this and try to stop it before that can happen.
Ultimately, Dr. Greiner says his decision to file this lawsuit comes down to the people he's helped for years.
Now all of a sudden, I'm at risk of not being able to fulfill my dream in life and continue taking care of kids that I started taking care of 6 years ago and want to see them all the way up until they go off to college.
Dr. Greiner says at this point he has not missed any surgeries because he has an exemption. We'll be sure to follow this story as it continues to develop in the courts. And coming up, Costco is making changes to their pricing for membership. What's changing when we come back? Could switching to wireless home internet save you money? Rich DeMuro explains in today's TechSmart.
Thanks to 5G, wireless internet is now an option for many homes. The setup is simple, the pricing is straightforward, and you might even save some money by switching. Home internet that's as easy as plug and play. That's the promise of new 5G wireless home internet options from Verizon and T-Mobile. It's all because of their access to speedy new 5G spectrum.
They have a lot of capacity on their networks that they didn't have before.
Sasha Segan is a network guru at PCMag.com.
Every time the carriers update their networks, I go out with special phones and special software, basically, and test the signal strength, test the speeds, test the coverage to see if the carriers are living up to their promises.
I tried out Verizon's 5G home internet, and it can't be easier. Just plug in this cube, and in seconds, you have a Wi-Fi signal. It's kind of like a giant mobile hotspot for your entire house.
So far, it's really good if you can get it.
Plans start at $25 for unlimited data, but you'll need to be a Verizon Wireless customer to get the best pricing, which is guaranteed for at least 2 years. To get an idea of the speeds you'll receive at home, do a speed test using a smartphone on the Verizon Wireless network. You'll get the fastest speeds if the signal says 5G UW.
Changing conditions in the wireless networks around you tend to make speeds fluctuate a lot more than they do, especially with fiber.
T-Mobile offers a similar service with prices starting at $50 a month.
You're familiar with data caps from mobile, but it's not true about the home internet plans. You can use all the data you want.
Depending on your need for speed, these services could save you money. And since there's no wiring required, setup is fast and easy.
If you have a really overpriced cable service that's been really unreliable, this provides you with a terrific alternative.
It all really comes down to the speed that 5G internet can deliver to your home, and if there's an opportunity to save some money, these options are definitely worth a look. All right, if you want to learn more, you can go to my website. It is richontech.tv. I'm Rich DeMuro, and you are Tech Smart.
The Russian invasion in Ukraine is expected to make inflation here in the U.S. worse. That's according to Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell. The rise in gas prices will trickle into other sectors of the economy. But Powell, who spoke to the Senate Banking Committee this week, also said that the Fed will do what it can to slow inflation, including raising interest rates. Inflation pressures could also lead to higher membership fees at Costco. CFO Richard Galante telling USA Today that a final decision could be made soon. The last time Costco raised fees was in June 2017. Costco is not alone in raising membership fees. Amazon just raised the price for Amazon Prime memberships. Supply chain issues are plaguing the auto industry again. According to the Wall Street Journal, automakers like Volkswagen say the fighting in Ukraine has halted production for some suppliers. The economic sanctions against Russia has also led Toyota, Hyundai, and Ford and others to suspend its business ventures there. Turning to the increase in gas prices nationwide, some drivers are now paying $6 per gallon in parts of the U.S. ABC's M. Nguyen has more.
Gas prices climbing higher.
$3.93 a gallon.
And higher.
We're over $4 already.
And higher.
$4.55.
States along the West Coast, as well as Hawaii, Alaska, and Illinois, now seeing the cost of gas average at least $4 per gallon. Los Angeles now averaging more than $5, while one gas station in Oregon is charging more than $6.20. In Georgia, prices are up 20 cents in the last week. One man was arrested, accused of drilling holes into cars to siphon gas. The White House blames the higher prices solely on the Russian war.
The volatility in the oil markets is a direct result of the fact that President Putin invaded Ukraine.
But many Republicans insist the Biden administration's policies against more drilling here at home are also to blame. Despite the surge in prices, some lawmakers on both sides of the aisle want even tougher restrictions on Russian supplies.
I'm all for that. Ban it.
Ban the oil.
Ban the oil come from Russia. Yep.
But President Biden says that would only drive prices higher.
He looks at this through is how can we maximize impact on President Putin while minimizing it on the American people.
M. Nguyen, ABC News, Washington.
Experts say banning Russian oil may not make much of a difference anyway, since major companies like BP and Shell have already cut ties with Russia. And coming up, a teacher is arrested accused of slapping a student. Why some are coming to the teacher's defense.
Live from Utah's CW30, ABC4 News at 7:30 starts now.
Thanks for staying with us here on the CW on ABC4 News at 7:30. I'm Lena Takada in for Courtney Johns. In Indiana, a longtime celebrated high school teacher is under arrest after officials say he slapped a student. The disturbing incident was caught on camera, sparking outrage in the community. But there are some coming to the teacher's defense. ABC's Rena Roy has the details.
Shocking surveillance video shows an Indiana high school teacher approaching a student, appearing to reprimand him, then slapping him so hard his head slams into the wall. Seconds later, the student collapses. Officials say the boy needed immediate medical treatment. Authorities say the teacher, 61-year-old Michael Hosinski of Jimtown High School in Elkhart, stopped that student for wearing a hoodie to class last week. Hosinski was arrested on the preliminary charge of battery and fired after 4 decades on the job. A school board meeting held in response to the incident, some filled with outrage, including a man who identified himself as the student's father, yelling at board members, saying a grown man smacked my son. But some are coming to Hosinski's defense.
That's a friend of mine, and for something like that to happen, there had to have been something that was going on that would have caused that person to just snap.
A group of students staging a walkout earlier this week in support of the veteran educator who was named Teacher of the Year in 2020.
Administration has not only failed the students, but our Jimtown High School staff. I have never been more embarrassed to be a Jimtown Jimmy.
The Elkhart County Prosecutor's Office is now investigating the case, and formal charges against Hosinski could come within a few days. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
A Massachusetts state trooper dies after a tanker strikes her police cruiser. According to police, the 34-year-old trooper was attempting to pull to the side of the road to assist a disabled motorist when a tanker truck carrying approximately 10,000 gallons of gasoline hit her police cruiser.
Stoneham police officer who came upon the scene performed emergency first aid, including CPR, until EMS arrived and transported her to Massachusetts General Hospital.
The disabled motorist that the trooper was attempting to help sustained minor injuries from the collision, but still tried to help. The trooper died after being taken to the hospital. The driver of the tanker did stay on scene to be interviewed by police, and a full investigation is ongoing. A scary sight in California when an SUV crashes through the wall of a Northern California preschool. Police say the vehicle was completely inside the main area, as you can see right there, trapping and injuring 19 children.
Our officers, along with several citizens, entered the building and were able to get all the children out of the building.
All of the children were taken to area hospitals, and luckily no fatalities reported. According to police, the driver didn't show any sign of being under the influence of drugs or alcohol, and the cause of the crash is under investigation. Now turning to Utah's COVID case count. Utah officials announcing 261 new COVID cases today. 11 more Utahns have died from COVID-related deaths. Hospitalizations continue to trend down. There are 287 people currently hospitalized with COVID-19. Of the new cases, 35 are school-aged children. 17 cases are in children ages 5 to 10. 7 cases ages 11 to 13, and 11 cases in children ages 14 to 17. And today, President Joe Biden announced a major investment in domestic production, which will create hundreds of jobs for developing infrastructure. This announcement comes as the latest jobs report was released. Our Washington correspondent Basil John reports on the latest.
Friday, President Joe Biden announced the next big step to increase the number of jobs and production of U.S. goods at Siemens USA.
We invest in innovation in America.
Siemens is investing $54 million to boost U.S. production and adding 300 manufacturing jobs to build up electric vehicle charging and data centers.
In addition, Siemens will be building an entirely new facility to make charging equipment for electric vehicles.
Let's continue to work together across the public and private sectors to build this industrial base.
This builds on previous announcements from Intel and General Motors to boost domestic production. The administration says the latest jobs report already shows the effect of these changes.
This month's report continues the good news of the strong recovery, the historic recovery in the economy over the past year.
Economic Advisors Council Chair Cecilia Rouse applauded the creation of nearly 680,000 jobs in February.
We saw unemployment tick down to 3.8% alongside an increase in labor force participation, which we know is going to be so important for getting our labor market and our economy back to normal.
Rouse says the administration will continue to focus on getting Americans back into the job force as the country recovers from the pandemic.
Ensuring that our economy continues to grow and that prosperity is more widely shared.
The president promises these trends will place the United States in a good position to combat inflation. Reporting in Washington, I'm Basil John.
Travel through the Sierra disrupted by a massive boulder that fell onto U.S. Highway 50 at Echo Summit yesterday. The California Department of Transportation says crews worked through the night to prepare to blow up the rock. The return of winter weather prompting forecaster to advise people planning mountain travel to be prepared for snowy roads through the weekend. We'll be right back. Welcome back. The events happening in Ukraine are a world away from Logan, Utah. But they're impacting some Utah State volleyball players in a way no one could have ever imagined. ABC4's Wesley Ruff has the story.
Christy Frank plays volleyball for Utah State. She's from Kyiv, and her family was in Ukraine when the invasion started.
I was scrolling through my Instagram and I saw my friends from back home, and they posted videos of my city, and it was these explosions and bombs. And when I saw that, my heart just dropped, and immediately I called my family. And it was maybe 6 in the morning, and my dad was just sitting in the kitchen and looking in the window, and he told me, yes, I just heard like some explosions. And I just started crying, and I got so worried because it's like your family in the middle of this. And even my dad, he never like cries, and he started crying too, so that even made me more nervous. My mom was in the kitchen and she saw an airplane flying by our house and dropping a bomb like by my friend's house, and she could see everything exploding, and she said it was terrifying. So that moment they just packed all their stuff.
But they had nowhere to go. They headed for the Romanian border and fortunately got out. But they had no idea what to do or where to go. Enter Inka Matola from Finland, Christy's volleyball teammate and her roommate.
It's very hard to see your best friend going like through that kind of stuff.
She didn't know what to do to help, but then her family stepped in.
My mom called me a couple days ago, just out of nowhere, and she's like, yeah, like Christy's parents are trying to come here, and my mom's going to pick them up from the capital, and they're going to my place for a while. My family, when they found out that Inka's parents are willing to drive all the way to just come pick them up and give them a place to stay, they were so amazed and just so grateful.
The two sets of parents had never met, but now they'll be linked forever in a quiet home in the Finnish countryside.
It's a very peaceful place. And like, there's not much going on, but I think it's good for now. That's what they need.
Two athletes, teammates, roommates by chance. And now their families are roommates, helping each other in a time of need.
I just want to say that you guys are so amazing, and be strong. All the world is on your side. So I believe everything will be good, and God will help people of Ukraine and the country to stay strong and stay Ukraine. Slava Ukraini.
What a powerful story. That was Wesley Ruff reporting.
Coming up, you're taking a look at downtown Salt Lake City. Notice that cloud cover. We've seen rain showers pushing through, thunderstorms in some spots. It's 50 degrees out there right now. Temperatures are dropping. What you need to know as the snow moves in for your weekend in Utah's most accurate forecast.
Time now for Utah's most accurate forecast with Alana Brophy. Weather rates certified 10 years in a row.
We were anticipating that rain today, and it came in full throttle. Some thunderstorms in certain locations. We heard that clap of thunder in Salt Lake, and the rain in Duchesne. Pretty shot here. Came in through Twitter, and love to see that wet weather and that moisture. Another good one. Days like today, they provide the perfect platform for a rainbow. Catching that one in Draper as it was hit or miss with those rain showers. Thunderstorms targeting the eastern side of the state, but we also saw them Taylorsville, Salt Lake, and portions of the Wasatch Front. You watch as that southerly flow carries that moisture from south to north. Right now, we've got active skies in eastern Utah, the north, and starting to quiet a little bit in the south, but it doesn't last for long. We do get activity overnight, and that is going to target the mountains as we get through to our Saturday. Here's a look at the storm tracker radar where we do have mountain snow also on I-80 up towards Evanston, but we're seeing it over the Uintas as well as the Wasatch. It's rain in our valleys, not a surprise with mild conditions. We've got rain over near Rush Valley towards Wendover and Tooele County, and we know that's going to continue to track north in eastern Utah, Green River over I-70 and south of Vernal, some mixed precipitation close to that Grand Junction line. And then as you take a look down south, we've got snow in the Cedar City Mountains in and around Boulder, Escalante, and it's quieted down with the rain, but St. George saw their fair share tonight, as did Lake Powell. So we had that moisture moving through. Windy conditions, southerly winds with hefty gusts in the West Desert towards Delta, Milford, Moab, Blanding. We also saw decent winds along the Wasatch Front. Thunderstorms will do that, and the threat tomorrow sticks around for central, eastern, and southern Utah. We also have a winter weather advisory going into effect at noon. I know, winter weather's back. Remember yesterday when we were 71? Yeah, not doing that anymore. Now we've got snow potential, accumulating snow for the Wasatch, Uintas, the Wasatch Plateau, Central Mountains, and down south. That does include all the way down to Bryan Head. Accumulating snow expected. This goes into effect at noon tomorrow. It will hold on through 8 a.m. Sunday. Winter travel expected on our mountain routes. So a heads up there if you've got to be traveling through. We get another system, a series of disturbances impacting us this weekend. So another storm coming through, and that's really going to encourage that moisture for our Saturday. Valley rain and mountain snow, but it does open the door for cooler conditions. Our coldest air moving in Saturday night into Sunday, and that's when we get straight snow potential, and that could accumulate. Here's a look. Today, we still see those showers, and into tonight and through tomorrow morning, we have valley rain, mountain snow holding on. Look at this snow by lunchtime down there near Cedar City and Delta and Milford. So active skies. That holds on. Cooler air starts to move in by the evening. We could see that rain-snow mix even in our valleys, and then that will transition to straight snow, which you see here as we kind of move. This band, early Sunday morning, okay, that's where we're going to see it accumulate, and it moves along the Wasatch Front, which is why we are expecting valley accumulations as well as mountain totals and snow showers into Monday as well. Here's a look. 2 to 5 for our northern valleys, 3 to 6 for our central valleys. Mountain valleys at 4 to 8 and benches could get 3 to 6 as well. We need that cooler air. That cold air has to come in order for that to happen, and that band setting up is going to dictate where we go. Great mountain totals contributing to snowpack. We love to see that. Cooler for tomorrow, 40s and 50s. Thunderstorms on the eastern side of the state. Wet weather in many locations. Rain down there in St. George. Snow in our mountains, and then changing to straight snow, but not in Washington County. We do see below average temperatures and wet conditions through Monday, and then things start to dry out. Here's the Wasatch Front. It's looking good. We go from 50 to 38. Oof. It's going to be chilly. We get snow sticking around on Sunday and the chance of snow showers into Monday. Another storm coming through on Wednesday that would linger into Thursday morning. That also brings snow potential. So yeah, we've got that wet weather and an active pattern, Lena. We have been talking about how much we wanted it. We're happy it's here.
Thanks, Alana.
Yeah.
Looking forward to the snow, not looking forward to the cold.
Yeah, I agree. Second, I co-sign.
Yeah, we're heading into break. We'll be right back.
You're watching ABC4 News on Utah's CW30.
Thanks for joining us on the 7 p.m. news on CW30. Coming up at 10 on ABC4, we're interviewing Utah Governor Spencer Cox about this year's legislative session. Hear his thoughts on the hot topic bills this year and more.
Happy birthday to you.
Finally tonight, a 7-year-old girl at a refugee camp in Romania gets a birthday surprise by local authorities. When one of the volunteer psychologists at the camp found out it was her birthday, they wanted to make it extra special. The Romania Ministry of Internal Affairs shared the video saying, "We want this nightmare you live to end as soon as possible and to celebrate your next birthday at home." Now let's get a last check of our weather with Chief Meteorologist Lena Brophy.
Lena, I can't go on after that story. How cute was that little girl? And I loved that she had on her birthday hat. They're good people out there. Gosh, always look for them. Okay, we've got some active skies holding on. Fresh snow coming to the mountains with that winter weather advisory. If you're going out, just know avalanche danger on the rise. Be careful out there this weekend. Lena?
Thanks, Alana. And thanks for joining us. We'll see you at 10.